There are 6 clear reasons people may hate you, and none of them are your fault. Their reactions have little to do with anything you have done and everything to do with what you trigger inside them simply by being who you are. You reflect things they don't want to confront about themselves. And once you understand this, you will realize their resentment was never yours to carry. Before we begin, remember to like the video and subscribe to our channel for deeper insights into the patterns that shape your life and relationships. Let's dive in. The first reason people may hate you is that you remind them of what they are not. When they see you, they may notice traits they wish they possessed: confidence, peace, fulfillment, and success. Your presence acts like a mirror, revealing the distance between the life they're living and the life they want. That realization is uncomfortable. It forces self-reflection they aren't ready for. Instead of coping with that discomfort or making changes, they push it outward. They decide you're the problem. They label you as arrogant, fake, or undeserving. When in reality, you're simply living authentically. You aren't trying to provoke anything. But to someone unhappy with themselves, your existence alone can feel like an accusation. You become a symbol of their own dissatisfaction. Rather than using that feeling as fuel to grow, they turn it into hatred. Blaming you allows them to avoid taking responsibility for their own life. The real issue isn't what you're doing, it's what they aren't doing for themselves. The second reason is that you trigger their insecurities. Everyone has sensitive areas, places where they feel inadequate or unsure. When you naturally shine in one of those areas, even without intention, it can trigger a strong reaction. You might be socially confident, while they feel awkward. You may be thriving professionally while they feel stuck. You might have deep connections while they feel isolated. You may be comfortable with yourself in ways they have never been. Something about you touches an old wound. And instead of acknowledging that pain, they blame you for bringing it up. You haven't harmed them. You're simply being yourself. But your presence highlights something unresolved within them, and that hurts. So they project that pain onto you. It's easier to direct anger outward than to look inward. The more comfortable you look in the very area they struggle with, the more intense their hostility becomes. You didn't create their insecurity. It's not your job to fix it, and you don't need to shrink yourself to protect their feelings. Their inner work is theirs alone, and their hate only shows that it isn't being done. The third reason is that you possess something they desire. This is jealousy wearing the mask of hatred. They want your life, your opportunities, your relationships, your success, or your sense of ease. And because they don't have it, or don't know how to get it, or aren't willing to do what it takes, they hate you for having it. Jealousy is hard to admit. It feels embarrassing and small. So instead of owning it, people rewrite the story. They tell themselves you don't deserve what you have. They say you were just lucky, that you're pretending, that what you've built isn't real or meaningful. Once they believe that narrative, their resentment feels justified. But again, it's not about you. It's about their longing and frustration. Instead of growing, instead of celebrating your success, they choose to diminish it. If they can convince themselves that what you have isn't special, they don't have to confront the pain of not having it themselves. You're allowed to enjoy your life. You're allowed to succeed and feel fulfilled. You don't owe anyone an apology for your happiness, and you don't need to minimize your wins to soothe someone else's discomfort. Their jealousy reflects their own inner struggles, not your worth. The fourth reason is that you refuse to be controlled. Some people feel secure only when they can control others, when people agree with them, comply with their expectations, and fit neatly into the roles they've created. The moment you don't do that, when you set limits, think independently, say no, or make choices they dislike, it unsettles them. Because losing control means losing power. It means they can no longer mold you into what feels safe or familiar to them, and that makes them uncomfortable. So they escalate. They pressure you, manipulate situations, use guilt, or criticize your decisions. And when none of it works, when you still stand firm, their frustration often turns into resentment. Not because you've done something wrong, but because you refuse to play the part they want you to play. This dynamic often appears with people who are used to having their way, family members who expect you to live according to their rules, friends who assume you should always be available, or partners who want you to change yourself to suit them. When you don't comply, when you stay aligned with who you truly are, they struggle to accept it. But having boundaries doesn't make you unreasonable. Thinking for yourself doesn't make you difficult. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. You have every right to live your own life and make your own decisions. And anyone who hates you for that is revealing that they cared more about controlling you than understanding you. They didn't love the real you, only the version they could manage. The fifth reason is that you represent the life they never lived. You're doing things they once dreamed about but were too afraid to pursue. You took chances they talked themselves out of. You followed paths they convinced themselves were unrealistic. Your growth, joy, and fulfillment are proof that those dreams were possible, which means they could have tried, but didn't. That realization is painful. It forces them to confront the truth that their current situation isn't only the result of bad luck or circumstances, but also of choices they made, risks they avoided, and dreams they abandoned. Watching you live out what they let go of brings their regret to the surface. Instead of feeling inspired or proud of you, they feel resentment. You become a reminder of the life they chose not to pursue. It's easier for them to dismiss your success, call it luck, or minimize your happiness than to admit they might have settled out of fear. But you are allowed to enjoy your life. You are allowed to succeed and feel fulfilled. You don't need to shrink your joy to make others more comfortable. Their jealousy belongs to them, not to you. Their inability to celebrate someone else's happiness reflects their character, not your worth. The sixth reason people may hate you is that your happiness challenges their misery. People who are deeply unhappy often need others to be unhappy too. It reinforces their belief that life is cruel, people are disappointing, and happiness is an illusion. When you show up genuinely content, healing, growing, thriving, it disrupts that belief. It suggests that misery might not be unavoidable. That maybe things could change. That maybe they have more agency than they want to admit. That thought is threatening. So instead of examining their own pain, they question your joy. They label it fake, accuse you of pretending, or look for flaws. They try to pull you down to their level. Because if they can convince themselves that you're not truly happy, they don't have to face the possibility that happiness was within reach all along. You are allowed to be joyful. You are allowed to heal and move forward. You do not need to dim your light to make someone else feel less uncomfortable in their darkness. Their unhappiness is a choice they continue to make, and their resentment toward your joy is simply an attempt to justify it. So stop blaming yourself. Stop asking what you did wrong. Their resentment was never about your mistakes, it was about what you represent. You became a mirror, a reminder, a trigger. And you cannot control what others see when they look at you. The only thing you can control is your response. And the healthiest response is understanding that their feelings are their responsibility, not yours. You are not here to manage other people's insecurities. And the people who truly belong in your life will never make you feel like you have to.